Autoline Daily is brought to you by Siemens PLM Software, transforming the process of innovation.
Here are today's top headlines. Fiat is getting big chunks of Chrysler for chicken feed. GM is creating a new brand for its Volt technology, and Hummer drivers are just asking for a ticket. Up next, we'll be back with the news behind the headlines. This is Autoline Daily for Wednesday, January 21, 2009, and now the news. More details on the Fiat-Chrysler alliance. The Wall Street Journal reports Fiat will get 3 of the 7 seats on Chrysler's board of directors. And if Fiat meets specific goals for improving Chrysler's operations within a year, it will be able to buy an additional 20% of Chrysler stock for only $25 million. Folks, $25 million for 20% of Chrysler is chicken feed. Plus, it got 30% of Chrysler for free, and all this shows that Cerberus is taking a bath on its investment in the automotive industry. Well, Toyota made it official and named Akio Toyoda as president of the company. He's the grandson of the founder of the company. We could have reported this yesterday, but if you remember, we actually reported it a month ago. Back then, the Japanese newspaper Asahi Shimbun said that Akio Toyoda would become president. You have to realize that the Japanese media operates differently than in the West. It's much more tied into official government and business sources. So when the Asahi Shimbun reports that Akio Toyoda is likely to become president of Toyota, you can take it to the bank. If they're reporting it, it's already a done deal. You know, the big 3 aren't the only ones getting government assistance. France is giving 6 billion euros to French automakers, but only if they promise to keep jobs in France and if executives give up their bonuses. Renault, PSA, and their suppliers alone make up 10% of the French workforce. WardsAuto.com reports GM is branding the electric propulsion system powering the Chevrolet Volt in the same way it branded engine families like Northstar and Vortec. They used to call it E-Flex, now GM is branding it as Voltec. Ford is using dual clutch transmissions in Europe, and WardsAuto.com reports it will start using them in North America next year. But calling them DCTs like everyone else does isn't good enough for Ford. It's going to brand these as PowerShift transmissions. The DCT gearbox was developed with Getrag and will debut on the new Fiesta when it launches and then spread to the Focus and other small vehicles. Most people think that brightly colored sports cars are police magnets, but Autoblog reports insurance company research shows Hummer drivers are 4 times more likely to get a ticket than the average motorist, and no one seems to know why. Maybe it's because Hummers have big blind spots, or maybe Hummer drivers just don't care about the rules of the road. Coming up next, it's time for You Said It.
Siemens, transforming the process of innovation.
And now it's time for some of your feedback. This is You Said It. You know, every day we get dozens of comments and questions from you, our viewers. You Said It gives me a chance to respond. Kit Gerhart writes in to say, I don't hear much in the media about the downside of plug-in hybrids and pure electric cars. 3 things come to mind. Number 1, a majority of Americans park their cars outside. Where will all of these people plug in their cars? Number 2, about half of America's electricity is made by burning coal. Are electrics really environmentally good? And number 3, what are the environmental issues regarding getting rid of batteries at the end of their life? Well, Kit, number 1, if you don't have a place to plug in an electric or plug-in hybrid, you're not going to buy one. These things will not be for everyone, in the same way that small cars don't meet the needs of some buyers and big SUVs don't meet the needs of others. Number 2, even if you recharge your plug-in with electricity made from coal, the environmentalists tell me we're still making progress in reducing CO2. Electric utilities are pretty efficient at converting coal into electricity. And number 3, you raise a great question about the end of life of the batteries. When you talk about recycling lithium-ion batteries, it takes more energy to recycle them than it takes to mine virgin lithium. There's definitely going to be an issue with that. And Greg Denning wrote in to ask another question relating to electrics. I do not know what it costs to operate an electric vehicle because I don't have a conversion formula for miles per kilowatt hour to the electricity rate. Can you find and distribute to us, your loyal, faithful, and dedicated audience, a formula for this conversion? Well, Greg, I don't have a concrete answer because, as they always say, your mileage may vary. All I can tell you is that with the Chevrolet Volt, GM says it will cost about 80 cents a day worth of electricity to travel 40 miles. The battery pack will have a capacity of 16 kilowatt hours. That means you should get 2.5 miles per kilowatt hour, but this figure only applies to the Volt. And GM's cost of 80 cents a day assumes a cost of about 7 cents per kilowatt hour. Hey, don't forget to play Autoline Trivia. If you correctly answer this week's question, you're automatically entered for a chance to win this. It's a replica of the sporty 1972 Datsun 240Z, and it could be yours. This week's question is, well, I'm not going to tell you, because it's only available to our email subscribers. But don't worry, if you want a chance to win, all you have to do is sign up for our free newsletter. Just visit our website, AutolineDaily.com, and subscribe now. Anyway, that's it for today's top news in the global automotive industry. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again tomorrow.
Visit our website for even more great content all week long. Autoline Extra, Dawn's Journal, podcasts, and even more. So click over and get the inside view at AutolineDetroit.tv.